Let's talk about the violence in the inner cities. Everyone wants to ask why. Why the killing? Why the murders? Why the deaths? Well, if gun control proponents would stop using the inner city as a jump-off anytime they want to bolster their gun control argument and instead actually pay attention to the cause of the violence in the inner cities, it wouldn't be such a mystery. The number of gun deaths in the inner cities completely dwarf the number of deaths from mass shootings. But for some odd reason, nobody ever brings that up until there's a mass shooting in Never Never Land. If I'm a young kid growing up in a single-parent home, living in poverty, attending a useless and wholly underfunded education system, and the only picture of success I see are gangbangers and drug dealers who own limited turf, have to rob, steal, and kill in order to survive, it doesn't exactly take a genius to see why sweet little Andre turned into little Pookie. But hey, I guess I can't blame you. It's easy to sit on your IKEA couch live tweeting The Bachelor and simply ignoring the violence in the inner city because it doesn't affect you. And I know this because I did the same thing, except I live tweet The Walking Dead. But while we're at it, because everyone wants to cry gun control every time there's a mass shooting, let's be real. When was the last time a little skinny black kid walked into a school and started shooting at people randomly? Don't worry, I'll wait. That's right, they haven't, because they're too busy killing each other. So the next time there's a mass shooting and you start to feel a certain kind of way because the mass shooting forced you to confront your own vulnerability all of a sudden, feel free not to use the violence in inner cities to bolster your arguments for gun control. Because before the violence came knocking on your door, you didn't care what happened in inner cities. So don't start caring now because you think it advances your agenda. And you know who's the biggest offender? That's right. I'm talking to you, Mr. President. Because, quite frankly, something just isn't adding up. During your first term as president, you were silent on the issue of guns, even going so far as to say you won't come for our guns.
I will not take your shotgun away. I will not take your rifle away. I won't take your handgun away.
But in your second term, you donned the suit of Mr. Captain America of gun control to save the kids. But what happened to the middle class that you so fervently said you'd fight to defend?
I've got a mandate to help middle-class families. I will not sign a plan that harms the middle class.
Every one of your policies for gun control affect only the middle-class law-abiding citizens. The privileged have no use for so-called assault weapons, and then there's the criminals. Well, they really don't care what law you pass because, well, they're criminals. So where does that leave middle-class America? I'll tell you, being dictated to and treated like children by the ruling elite who tell us we don't need certain kinds of weapons to adequately protect ourselves from the lower class criminal element who's chomping at the bits, rooting for gun control legislation because, well, it makes their job easier. All because you want to politic, and your answer in one breath is
ban on military-style assault weapons.
And then in the same breath you say, you know a majority of the gun deaths are committed with handguns?
I actually don't think we should ban handguns.
You're not staying consistent, Mr. Obama. Stop giving me sound bites. It's old. I'm tired of hearing it. It's the same rhetoric, proposing the same stupid legislation that won't work at doing anything except disarming a segment of the population that need those arms the most.